Welcome to the next session of recursion. So in the last session, we were solving a program that is factorial problem, which was solved using both iterative and recursive approach. And now we are going to see the next set of program, which is going to solve using both recursion and iteration approach. So that is another set of series of problem which can be solved using recursion. So that is nothing but Fibonacci series. So everybody knows what exactly a Fibonacci series is. So you can generate a sequence of Fibonacci series. So what is Fibonacci series? It's nothing but the sum of the previous two numbers. So if you want to generate the series of three numbers, so the first Fibonacci series number is 0, the second number is 1, and the third sequence what you're going to get is the sum of previous two numbers. What is sum of previous two numbers? It is 1 plus 0. Suppose if you want to find out the Fibonacci series of 5, okay, so the numbers will be, first number will start from 0, the second number will be 1, and from third number we need to find out the sequence. What is the third number? Third number is nothing but the sum of previous two numbers. What is the previous two numbers? 1 and 0. So the third number will be 1 plus 0, so that is 1. Now we need to generate the fourth number. What is fourth number? Fourth number is nothing but the sum of previous two numbers. Which are the previous two numbers? 1 and 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And now we need to generate the fifth number. Which is fifth number? It is sum of previous two numbers, that is 2 plus 1, that is nothing but 3. So this is how the series of Fibonacci gets generated. Okay, so coming to this particular problem, so as I said that we are solving this problem using recursion. We need to know that we already know that whenever a series is being generated, we know that when the recursion is approached, the recursion approach tells that the problem has to be reduced. Okay, so now if you want to generate a Fibonacci of 100 series, we don't know which will be the 100th number, but the numbers which we know is that the first number should be 0 and the second number should be 1. So these are nothing but your base case. That means you already know that the first number will be always 0 and second number will be always 1, but you can't predict which will be the 100th number. That is quite complex for us to predict. So when if the Fibonacci of 100 is given, we have to make sure that it is get reduced to Fibonacci of 0 and Fibonacci of 1, because we know the answers for 0th and first positions of the sequence. So carefully observe, when the Fibonacci series starts, what we are doing is, we know that it is the sum of the previous two numbers. So we started with Fibonacci of 3. Okay, now what is the, we are generating this Fibonacci of 3. What are the previous two numbers? Previous two numbers are nothing but the one which is in the second position and one which is in the, so if you want to know the answer of Fibonacci of third sequence, then you should know Fibonacci of 3 is nothing but sum of the previous two numbers. So you can see that what is previous two numbers position? Fibonacci of 2 plus Fibonacci of 1. So from 3 we have reduced it to Fibonacci of 2 plus Fibonacci of 1. So what is Fibonacci of 2? Fibonacci of 2 is nothing but Fibonacci of 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. But what is Fibonacci of 1? We already know the value of what is the first number, first position number. Fibonacci of 1 is 1. Okay. What is Fibonacci of 1? It's 1. We know Fibonacci of 0. It is 0. So that means, carefully observe, once the problem is given Fibonacci of 3 as a question, we need to reduce it to smaller instance. So but we need to know what is the actual sequence, how is the actual sequence generated. If we need to find out the third sequence, we should know the sum of its previous two. What is sum of its previous two? 2 plus 1. Okay, the again we don't know any answer directly. We know what is the value of Fibonacci of 1 directly, because Fibonacci of 1 is nothing but the first index position will be always 1. So we are returning 1 directly, but we don't know Fibonacci of 2 answer. So if you want to find out the Fibonacci of 2, then we have to find the sum of its previous number. Which is its previous number? 1 which is in the first location and 1 which is in the 0th location. If you add those two things, you will get back the Fibonacci of 2 as an answer. But since we know Fibonacci of 1 directly, we return 1. The first position's number is 1. What is in the 0th position? We have 0, so we return 0. So if we get this two, 0 and 1, okay, what do we get back? We get the Fibonacci of 2. If we know this two answer, we may get the Fibonacci of 3. So this is nothing but, so whatever you are seeing in the this particular step is nothing but calling the function within the function to reduce it. Okay, till what point this function gets reduced? The point when the function gets the easiest answer or a direct answer to the solution. Till that point we keep on reducing the instances of the problem. Okay, so now let us go back to the iterative approach first. So let us stall this particular program using iterative approach. So iterative approach, as I was discussing about recursion's iterative approach, I clearly told you that iterative approach is nothing but, if we use loops to solve the problem, then those approach we call it as iterative approach. So coming to this particular program, let us first analyze what are the variables are. Terms. So that means terms are nothing but how many series of numbers you need to generate, whether it is a Fibonacci series of 5 numbers do you want to generate, or whether it is going to be a Fibonacci series of 10. That means terms are nothing but input. So the sequence of numbers what you need to generate. And the second thing what we are specifying is, when it comes to a Fibonacci series, we know what will be the first number and what will be the second number. Let us calculate the actual number from the third number, because if you want to get the sum of previous two numbers, we should at least enter two numbers. So that is the reason the first term of any sequence will be 0 and the second term will be the 1. Okay, and you need to calculate the next term according to the sequence. If you want to generate 5 sequence, then you have to keep on calculating the next term. So the reason why first term and second term is mentioned as 0 and 1 is because the first two numbers for a Fibonacci series has to be mentioned to calculate the next term. Okay, and to monitor the iteration, we have a variable called as I. Okay, so terms for input, next term is going to generate the next term of the sequence, and we know what is the first term and second term of every sequence is. Okay, so 0 and 1. So first we enter the terms. So let us generate 6 term as 6. So 6 means how many sequence we are going to, sequence of number we are going to generate? 6 numbers. Okay, 6 numbers, we have a sequence of 6 we are going to generate. So input is 6. Now coming to this particular program, it starts from 0, index starts from 0 and goes up to 6, 0 less than 6. That means it's true. That means this loop is going to run for 0th in I value 0, I value 1, I value 2, I value 3, I value 4, I value 5. That means it's going to generate 6 terms since it's starting from 0. Okay, and the first I value, let us do it by first I value. What is the value of I? I value is 0. If it is 0, so there is a condition. What is the condition? If I is less than or equal to 1, what is the current value of I? It is 0. Yes, 0 is less than equal to 1 is true. If it is true, what is the current I value? The current I value is 0. Okay, and that has been assigned to next term. Okay, so that means what I mean to say is why it has been done is, so let me write the sequence first here. If it is Fibonacci for 6, then the output is this sequence. The first number will be 0, second number will be 1, third number will be 1, fourth number will be 2, fifth number will be 3, and sixth number will be 5. So this should be the sequence what you need to generate. Okay, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. I'll tell you how do you got. You know what will be the first number. First number is 0. What is the second number? Second number is 1. Okay, so after second number, we need to find out the next term. So next term is nothing but sum of previous two numbers. What is sum of previous two number? 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay, and 1 plus 1 will give you the next number. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, 3 plus 2 is 5. You get the next sequence. Now we need to generate this number. So you know that what will be the first sequence number? 0. So the first output should be 0. As I said, we are finding out how many numbers we have generated. Sequence of 6 numbers. So that is the reason we have given term as 6. Now this loop will run how many times? This loop should run for 6 times to generate this sequence. Okay, That is what we are going to see is here. So term is now 6. Now what is the current value of I? 0. The current value of I is 0. So what condition you are checking here? If I is less than equal to 1. Yes, obviously 0 is less than or equal to 0 is less than, sorry, 0 is less than or equal to 1. This condition is true. If it is true, we are generating the first number. So that means next term. What is the next term? What you need to generate? The first sequence, what you need to generate is 0. So what is the current value of I? The current value of I is 0. That is assigned to next term. So keep in your mind, what is this next term? Next term at this point of time is 0. Will it goes to the else block? It will not go to the else block. Since it has gone to if block, it will not go to the else block. So we are going to skip for this particular iteration else block. Okay, and then we are printing what? We are printing the next term. So what exactly you have in next term? The first number. What is the first number? The first number is supposed to be 0. So what is the next term's value? It is 0. So we have printed the first term, that is 0. Will it stop after printing 0? We printed 0. Now let me see one by one. We printed 0. Okay, so after 0, again the loop will start. Now the high value from 0, it has changed to 1 because we have incremented I. Okay, once after incrementation, it checks this condition: 1 is less than 6. It is true. Now it comes here. Is it 1 is less than or equal to 1? The condition what you need to check is if I is less than equal to 1. What is the current I value? 1. Is it 1 is less than or equal to 1? Yes, it is true. So now next term is represented as the current I value. What is the current I value? It is 1. Okay, so we have generated the next term 2. Okay, now next term is 1. So it won't go to the else block. So what are you supposed to print next? We are supposed to print the next term. What is the next term? It is 1. So it prints next 1. Okay, now we got first two numbers. From next number onwards, it should be the sum of previous two numbers. So let us see what happens. Now I is again incremented. So I plus plus will make the I value to 2. And then it comes here and checks this condition is true. Yes, 2 is less than 6. It is true. Now it goes to the if condition first. What is the current I value? Current I value is 2. It is tested with 2 is less than or equal to 1. Is it 2 is less than or equal to 1? That is false. If it is false, so carefully observe, if it is false, it will not go to the if block. It will go to the else block. So let us see what happens inside the else block. In else block, you are calculating next term. What is next term? Next term is nothing but first term plus second term. So what is the first term? First term is 0. What is the second term? Second term is 1. Okay, first term is 0 and second term is 1. Okay, which we have already initialized. So you get the next term. So what is first term? 0 plus 1. So in next term, we are going to have 0 plus 1. So what is the value of 0 plus 1? It's nothing but this will get reduced to next term is 1. Okay, now it went to else block, you get calculated the next term. So we have got the next term also. So after 0 comma 1, the next term has to be printed is 1. Okay, so let us just that here what you are going to print next. Here we are going to print next term as, what is the next term value? It is 1. So once you print this as the next term, to find out the next coming sequence, you know that the previous two number changes. Now your first term will not be 0 and second term will not be 1. So what will be your first term? The first term will be this particular number. And what will be your second term? The second term will be this particular number. Now we have to change the first term and second term. You're getting right? Now what should be the first term? The first term should be second term. So what is first term now? Let us see. First term, what was the actual first term value? The first term value was 0. Now that has been changed from first term to second term. So now first term becomes the value of first term becomes the value of second term. What was the actual value of second term? Actually it was 1. So we made this number as the first term. Actually it was, this number was the first term. Now we changed that number to this number. Okay, Now first term is equal to 1. Next we are taking second term. What is second term? The previous two numbers means this two. So where is this one now? This one is in next term. Okay, so next term is having 1. So what we do is we make second term as 1. Okay, now again it goes to the loop. Loop will run. Loop will become I is equal to 3. Okay, because it becomes I plus plus. So obviously this condition will not be true. Okay, now we have to find out the else case. What is next term? Right now next term is the current first term value. What is the current first term value? It is 1. So next term will be 1 plus first term is 1. Okay, that's why we have printed 1. What is the current second term value? The current second term value is also 1. That means it is previous two numbers. So next term will be 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 means what you get? You get 2. Okay, you get 2. That should be the, so you can see that after this calculation, we'll see this later. This is anyway is going to happen after this calculation. Now text term is nothing but 2. Okay, now what we are going to do is we have to change the terms. First term, now which should be the first term? First term should be the value of second term. What is the current second term? Current second term is nothing but 1. Okay, so first term remains 1. Okay, what should be your second term? Second term should be the value of next term. That means this should be the next number. Then you come and print the next term. What is the next term? Next term value is 2. So it prints 0, 1, 2. Okay, now again you go back to this location and now 3 becomes 4. Okay, this condition will not be true again. This condition is going to work only for first two numbers. From next case onwards, it will always go to the else block. So next term has to be calculated. What is the current first term? Current first term of previous two number is 1 and second number is 2. Now that's what is happening. Current first term is what? 1. Okay, so we'll write next term is equal to 1 plus, what is the second term? Second term is nothing but the 2. So it calculates 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is nothing but 3. So next term stores 3. And in your first term, what are you going to store? We are going to store the current second term value. What is the current second term value? It is 2. We store 2 in first term. Okay, and in your second term, what you are going to store? Current next term. What is the current next term? Current next term is 3. We print the current. Then we come out of this else block. After coming out this else block, what are we printing? We are printing the current value of next term. What is the current value of next term? It is 3. So we print 3. We printed 3. Okay, now this becomes 5. Okay, now this becomes 5. So again this condition will be false. Okay, then again we come to the else block. What is the else block? Next term is equal to current first term. What is the current first term value? Current first term value is that means you need to find out this two numbers addition. So current first term value is 2. So we write 2 plus, what is the current second term? What is the current second term? Current second term value is 3. So we compute 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 is nothing but 5. So next term will be 5. So then again, what will be the first term value now? It will be the current second term value. What is the current second term value? It is 3. So first term will take 3. Now what is the current second term value? Current second term value will be assigned to the next term value. What is the next term value? It is 5. Okay, so then we print the, come out of this else block and then we print the next term. What is the next term? Next term is 5. Okay, so we, because 3 plus 2 is 5. So have we generated 6 numbers? Because our number terms was 6. Now it becomes 6. I value becomes 6. If I value becomes 6, this condition becomes false. So what will be this condition? Actually it will be 6 less than, that is current I value is 6 less than terms value. What is terms? Is it 6 is less than 6? 6 is equal to 6, but it is not less than 6. So this loop terminates. This loop terminates. So once this loop is terminated, how many sequence did you generate? We generated 6 sequence because we were about to find the Fibonacci for 6. I hope you have got this particular program using iterative approach. So what is Fibonacci series? The first thing you need to know. we, when the program starts, we should initialize first two numbers of the sequence. That is, first term always for the first number will be 0, and for second number for the sequence will be 1. Once we get first two numbers, then we can calculate any upcoming sequence. So if you want to generate third number, it will be sum of two numbers, previous two numbers. If you generate a fourth number, then that will be the sum of the previous two numbers. So that is the reason we have analyzed first two numbers. So this condition is going to check to generate only first two numbers. That is why it has been checked for less than or equal to 1. That means 0 is less than or equal to 1, 1 is less than or equal to 1. It will generate these two numbers. So once this two numbers is generated, from the next number, we need to calculate next term. So next term will be always the sum of previous two numbers. What is the previous two numbers? First plus second. So once you calculate the previous two numbers, you should swap the positions of previous two numbers. That means when you get this sequence, the previous two numbers will not remain as this 0 and 1. It will be changed to this as the previous two numbers. So that swapping is happening at this particular point of time. Okay, so this is what is a program to find Fibonacci of series, Fibonacci of a number using iterative approach. So in the next step or next session, we are going to see the same problem using the concept of recursion approach. Okay, so I believe that you have understood this iterative approach for Fibonacci series. So let us see in the next session recursive approach. Thank you.